Would you ever order a dish that has more than 3 times the amount of salt you're supposed to eat in an entire day? Buckle up because you probably already did. Seemingly inspired by the sweet and sour shrimp main dish found at countless neighborhood Chinese American restaurants for decades, crispy dragon shrimp is merely an appetizer at Red Lobster. But customers receive such a generous portion of the crispy dragon shrimp that nutritionally, the starter can go head-to-head with some of the chain's full seafood platters. Frying in oil adds both fat and calories, as does tossing and dressing the resulting crispy seafood in a thick, syrupy sauce. Also, the whole thing is covered in a very sweet and slightly hot sauce made mostly from sugar and chilies. All that coating, oil, and sauce make for an appetizer with more than a meal's worth of nutrition. The crispy dragon shrimp adds 1,010 calories, 72 grams of fat, 200 milligrams of cholesterol, and 2,010 milligrams of sodium to your Red Lobster experience, and to your waistline. 2 foods that are generally considered to be healthy choices: salad and grilled fish. One starts from a foundation of raw vegetables, and the other is unadorned seafood, a source of protein and omega-3 fatty acids. It's enough to make you cheer the waitstaff.
Oh, here comes
But the worst thing one can do with a salad is cover it with ingredients like Parmesan cheese, croutons, and a creamy dressing. That turns a pile of chopped romaine lettuce into a Caesar salad. Red Lobster diners can adapt the classic Caesar salad into a proper meal by adding protein. Surprisingly, choosing Atlantic salmon over chicken or shrimp adds the most calories and fat. Even though it looks like a plate of raw vegetables with fish on top, Red Lobster's classic Caesar salad with Atlantic salmon is one of the biggest calorie and fat sources on the menu. It contains 1,070 calories, 81 grams of fat, 180 milligrams of cholesterol, and 1,700 milligrams of sodium. Calorie-conscious diners ought to avoid the pasta section of chain restaurant menus. Noodles of all kinds are made almost entirely of caloric carbohydrates, and major restaurant companies, Red Lobster included, tend to serve massive portions of the stuff along with an abundance of butter or a creamy, cheesy white sauce. Nestled in Red Lobster's pasta offerings is the Bar Harbor Lobster Bake, a fat-filled pasta dish with a pile of seafood along for the ride. The entree begins with a big bowl of linguine slathered in a garlic and white wine sauce. Also in the mix are a couple of petite Maine lobster tails, as well as mussels, tiny bay scallops, and fresh tomatoes. Added up, this light-seeming pasta and seafood choice meets more than half of the average adult's daily caloric needs, according to the USDA, with 1,100 calories total. The 54 grams of fat just about hit the recommended one-day limit of 65 grams too. As far as cholesterol and sodium are concerned, the Bar Harbor Lobster Bake exceeds the daily recommendations, with 380 milligrams and 3,340 milligrams of each. So don't be surprised if your server does a double take when you order it.
How about you, pal?
You know what? I'll have the lobster.
Excuse me?
Fish and chips is a specific thing on the Red Lobster menu, but it's also the idea behind many of the chain's other entrees. The actual fish and chips dish is made with fried cod, while the wild-caught crunch-fried flounder is created with a different mild-flavored whitefish. It's battered with a mixture that results in a crispier texture, and it's served in a thin fillet. One thing is the same though, it's still not very healthy. Red Lobster's nutrition facts for the fish and chips include the fries and its sky-high calorie count. That's not the case for the wild-caught crunch-fried flounder. On its own, with no sides included, the lunchtime portion of the crispy browned and oil-cooked flounder provides 1,140 calories, 71 grams of fat, and 140 milligrams of cholesterol. The 3,060 milligrams of sodium is also more than an adult should consume daily, and all of that is without factoring in the bun if you get it as a sandwich. Salmon New Orleans evokes the flavors of one of the country's best and most unique food cities, with a hefty portion of Atlantic salmon blackened in the spicy Louisiana style. Red Lobster doesn't stop there, throwing several shrimp on top of the salmon. The whole thing is left soaking in a hot, flavorful Cajun-spiced butter sauce along with a relish starring tomatoes and cilantro. It's that Cajun butter sauce that puts the Salmon New Orleans into the realm of the unhealthiest dinners to order at Red Lobster. Not even counting the 2 sides that come along with the meal, Salmon New Orleans contains 1,160 calories and more than a day's allotment of fat, 76 grams, while also exceeding the daily limit for cholesterol with 360 milligrams. If the words crispy or crunchy appear in the item's name or description, it's a safe bet that it's going to be something heavily battered and deep-fried. On the other hand, words like roasted or grilled imply that a dish is likely free of those calorie-rich coatings and oil baths. But Red Lobster's grilled lobster, shrimp, and salmon signature feast is a major exception. In this instance, grilled is misleading. While the seafood is cooked simply over high heat and offers a robust 76 grams of protein, it's also responsible for the same amount of fat, as well as 1,180 calories and 2,830 milligrams of sodium. The calorie culprit in this dish? The toppings. A main lobster tail, a skewer of jumbo shrimp, and a large hunk of salmon all arrive at the table swimming in a thick brown butter sauce. Over the decades, Red Lobster has made big strides in creating dishes that could be perceived as healthier than the usual restaurant fare. One of the most seemingly healthy items on its menu in the lunch-leaning bowls and sandwiches section is the Sesame-Soy salmon bowl. Compared to other items on that same laminated page, the fish doesn't appear to be fried or breaded, and it's served with orzo rice and 2 vegetables, rather than potatoes or coleslaw. But watch out. The central protein is Atlantic salmon, which, due to its intentionally bulky diet in a farmed setting, results in more calories and about twice as much fat as a similar serving of its wild-caught counterpart. And the dish involves so many sauces that any healthy ingredients are overwhelmed by the calorically dense additions. That salmon gets drenched in a sweet soy and ginger glaze, while added fat makes the Brussels sprouts crispy. A vinaigrette dressing and crispy fried onions turn that salad into a fat bomb. Altogether, the Sesame-Soy salmon bowl contains 1,220 calories, 62 grams of fat, and 2,770 milligrams of sodium. Nestled in the classics section of the Red Lobster menu is arguably the most familiar and iconic seafood combo of all time, fish and chips. Red Lobster presents a faithful take on the British takeout staple, offering a generous slab of wild cod fried in a light batter to provide a crispy finish, alongside a moderate portion of fries, a bowl of coleslaw, and tartar sauce for dipping. Consumed as written and recommended, with coleslaw and fries on the side, Red Lobster's fish and chips platter is as salty and fatty as it is unpretentious. Under the USDA's daily diet recommendations for adults, the meal delivers over a half of a day's calories and an entire day's fat, with 1,230 and 65 grams respectively. The dish also provides just under half of the cholesterol limit at 130 milligrams, while its 2,910 milligrams of sodium is more than you should have in an entire day. In theory, appetizers are supposed to prepare a diner for the meal at hand, meals like Crab Fest, without filling you up too much. Sharing an appetizer with one's dining companions is a great way to sample the menu and keep the mood festive without getting too loaded down to enjoy the rest of the meal. But you can certainly enjoy an appetizer alone, and Red Lobster offers many largely portioned options on its starters menu, such as the Crabby cheese fries. It's a straightforward dish that consists of just a few simple ingredients: a big plate of French fries studded with lump crab meat and topped with both a cheese sauce and a garlic cream concoction. While technically an appetizer, the Crabby cheese fries registers figures in calories, fat, cholesterol, and sodium similar to that of many Red Lobster meals. Along with 1,450 calories, it's got 76 grams of fat, 140 milligrams of cholesterol, and 3,760 milligrams of sodium. There's nothing inherently unhealthy about lobster, but the way it's prepared can make it a food bomb. Take the Dueling Southern tails. The cooks at Red Lobster use lobster tails as a foundation for 2 towering monuments to calories. Half of the plate arrives occupied by a main lobster tail, served on top of a bed of creamy grits. Then all that gets covered with shrimp treated with a sugary glaze. The other part of the duel is a second lobster tail, dropped atop a big portion of gooey macaroni and cheese. A thick, sweet sauce made from bourbon and bacon serves as a final touch. The total calorie count for this carbs and seafood mashup is 1,490. The Dueling Southern Tales also provides far more than enough fat and sodium for the average adult's entire day, with 94 grams and 4,510 milligrams respectively. So keep the antacid handy.
I thought lobster upset your stomach.
I dipped it in pesto bismol.
Oh, you like dipping, eh? Come here.
One of their most popular Lobster Fest offerings is the Lobster Lover's Dream, which pairs a couple of sides of the diner's choosing with 3 portions of lobster. The meal comes complete with both Caribbean rock lobster and Maine lobster tails. Rounding out the hearty feast is a bowl of linguine tossed in a thick cream sauce with shrimp and even more lobster. All of the butter used in the preparation of the lobster tails, plus the cream and carbohydrates in the pasta dish, ramp up the calorie count. As a result, the Lobster Lover's Dream contains 1,570 calories and 110 grams of fat, almost double the USDA recommended daily allowance for fat. The 590 milligrams of cholesterol is 2/3 of what an adult can handle in a day, while the 4,460 milligrams of sodium contributes right under 2 days worth of salt. One of the biggest meals on the Red Lobster menu is the Admiral's Feast. Diners who select this signature feast receive full or nearly full-size portions of 4 items: Walt's favorite shrimp, thin and crispy wild flounder, bite-sized bay scallops, and clam strips. All of that seafood is breaded and deep-fried, and the meal comes with various sugary sauces and 2 side dishes. The dips and accompaniments aren't included in the nutrition facts for the Admiral's Feast, meaning the hefty numbers don't fully reflect what the Red Lobster customer consumes. Just the seafood in this single meal provides the average diner with close to a full day's dietary needs or more. With 1,640 calories, 96 grams of fat, and 4,750 milligrams of sodium, twice the advised daily limit of salt, it's enough to make you think twice.
I'll be at the Red Lobster in case you change your mind, shooter.
Among the newest additions to Red Lobster's Lobster Fest special menu is a massive platter the seafood chain calls the Crispy Lobster and Shrimp Stack. It starts with buttery lobster tail meat that's fried and crispy, surrounded by a sizable portion of similarly breaded and fried shrimp. Red Lobster serves the stack with several hush puppies, as well as french fries, mayonnaise-laden coleslaw, honey jalapeno butter, and malt vinegar aioli for dipping. This opulent collection is so densely packed with calories that it could provide the average adult with all of their basic nutritional needs for more than a day, and enough fat for more than 2 days. It's got a truly shocking 2,520 calories, as well as 138 grams of total fat. The Crispy Lobster and Shrimp Stack is also an extremely salty choice. With 7,140 milligrams of sodium, it has around 3 times what an adult needs in a day.